left. Yeah.
It's like we're looking. We got to get the monitor in front of us because we're looking.
There's already so much stuff.
Right. Yeah, right. We have to hang it from the door frame.
Yeah, then I would open it and everything would just like fall down again like it did before. Yeah,
it's a challenge, a logistical nightmare.
Support us on the Patreon, and maybe we could hire an intern.
There you go.
Monitor
there
the
we
chat.
go.
Yep.
Yes, that's what we need. Intern.
You'd have to pay them though.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, maybe that doesn't fly here. free interns for
Oh, that is not the front.
just what, college credit. All right. So hey Abyss, hey Matt, how's it going?
Oh,
Hey L.
Oh.
Nice. Uh-oh, L's got a open D&D. Oh, great. I thought that was a 1 D&D. I'm like, oh no, a 1 D&D logo.
Oh.
No, open D&D. Excellent. Welcome, L. All right.
It's okay, I guess.
Wow. Yeah, so already comments are being blocked. Yeah, I think my title there's a lot of dislike. There's a lot of and some of this gets pretty personal for me this week, so I'll have to be careful.
I am okay. I will keep it professional.
Yes. Yeah, so just stuff that I like, I'm like peripherally connected to.
Okay.
I'm like, oh no.
Are you under any NDAs?
No, as far as I know, yeah, it's completely different. But it kind of cuts my chances. I had this like tiny chance or tiny, glimpse. I have a connection here, so I can send an email and maybe get some attention. Yeah, boom, it's gone. Yeah, so we'll see. So how are things going for you?
Yeah, all right.
What you been
doing? Nothing. Everybody in my house is sick with sinus infection, but I've somehow managed to not get. So that's nice.
Yeah, a lot of respiratory stuff right now.
Yeah. And work. The new Kinder textbook is starting being laid out. Deadline of the 21st of this month. Over the course of like 6-7 years, the deadlines have gotten progressively shorter.
Yeah,
like just like, all right, I got 2 weeks to lay out a like 90-page book. You haven't even given me all the stuff. Business as usual. Cool, thanks.
Wow.
So it's a nice, refreshing breath of fresh air to be here.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, you got to be fire laying out supplements for RPGs if you've got that textbook thing down.
I unfortunately can't, because usually by the time I go home, I'm just like,
did
you work on game stuff? No, I'm just gonna do like a battle of combat cards and fall into bed. All right. Maybe turns into 2 or 3 if I keep getting owned by bots. I'm just like, oh yeah. All right.
Yeah, gotta love that. Yeah, I love when you figure out, you're just playing against some random script and it's kicking your ass.
Yeah. Like I found that out and I'm just like, well, cool. So all those times I just like lost like a chump was against an AI. That does not make me feel good. Right? Yeah.
Yes. Is it your deck? Is it your... who knows? All right. So Matt's warning us to be careful.
Cool. Okay. I will be careful.
Let's see. All right. So let's get started for this week. Welcome to the Weekly. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Chris.
And this week on the Weekly, Bank of America still dislikes Hasbro WotC.
Along with everybody else.
Yeah,
okay.
That's right. Kyle Brink dislikes white people.
I think I saw this. Okay. Yep.
Right. Inside the Box dislikes paying employees.
Okay.
And
there's a lot of dislike this year. All right.
And Andrews McMeel dislikes RPGs.
Okay. Whole lot of dislike. All right.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Bring it on.
Nothing positive here. So we got an update or another kind of statement and forecast release from Bank of America, and they still think WotC is set to Hasbro continues to underperform. Right. And they're pointing to very specific reasons why. They had a statement, I think, last year, November maybe, where they said that, they changed the forecast for Hasbro and things don't look good. So they called Wizards of the Coast recent trouble destroying customer goodwill and stating that the company may face a steep decline if this trend continues, because they've had their two biggest properties that I think are 30% of their income, or the 30% of their revenue. They've frustrated, they frustrated their fan bases. So one of the WotC executives maintains that they're trying to do what's best for the community, as in this statement. Yeah, I think we'll talk about that later. But they're blaming the executive leadership for being completely disconnected.
Okay, I mean, all right, yeah, fair enough. I mean, all right, I work for a shit company. Sorry, I hope no one from my company is watching this. This will be the one time one of my managers watches, right? Okay, like the company I work for is not that great, and you just got to kind of toe the company line, right? But after a certain point, you kind of got to know what company you're working for, right? So your individuals are kind of well within their rights, and of course to say, okay, this does not represent me, right? What my company does, we have no control kind of over it. But I'm not saying you're responsible, right? But you can, like, people who are in charge of D&D can say, yes, we're trying to do what's best for the community, right? Depends how much say they actually have in what management does. It goes, cool. You can say that. At what point does it like not translate over? So
yeah, and we'll hear that a little bit from Mr. Brink in a little bit too.
Are you going to do that auto voice thing again?
I should. Yeah, right. But so continue the Wall Street, I guess, continues to be under pressure, at least the banking world. So the single biggest problem, of course, that Hasbro is trying to overcome is how to monetize the hell out of their brands, and that's a very short-sighted. BofA is saying that's a very short-sighted thing, and that they're really kind of killing the golden goose, I think is how they put it. But starting with that fireside chat with the CEO of WotC and Hasbro, it's just gone downhill from there.
Can I call it a fireside chat if there's no fire anymore?
It was the warm light of a computer monitor.
But Elle just said that WotC is 22% of the revenue and 72% of the profit.
Oh, wow, Elle, thank you. Wow. Yeah, thank you.
The comments there.
Yeah, thanks. So it's it'll be interesting to see if if in the short term they're going to take a hit in revenue and just try to save these brands, or they're going to say full steam ahead. Let's
yeah, good question. I don't know. Like, okay, they said it right. What D&D fans are under monetized, and so they're going to try and squeeze pennies out of them. I really get this is related, but I got to wonder when companies having shareholders becomes a negative, right? I mean, like it clearly is, right? Like, at what point do you say the business is doing well, we're still experiencing growth? It's not like gangbuster growth that shareholders want, right? But like doing that would damage our brand or our product, right? I don't know.
Well, yeah, it is it's a difficult thing to be stuck in because they have to. Profits have to be going up, investors have to be happy, stock prices have to be going up, or if they decide, we don't like what's happening here, they abandon ship, so you're just going to have a bunch of people dumping the stock value tanks, and then, everything starts to be worrisome.
Maybe we should just decouple shit from the stock market. I mean, what does it really do?
I think RPGs, specifically tabletop RPGs, shouldn't be publicly traded companies.
Well, I can think of one company that publicly trades RPGs.
Yeah, well, yeah, but that should be disconnected because obviously the hobby that model doesn't work well, and even if they figure out a way to digitally, monetize a microtransaction D&D, it's going to be, it's going to be brutal. So moving on to more dislike, we have an interview, and I think he's done several. Kyle Brink has gone on several podcasts. So Kyle Brink is the executive producer of Dungeons & Dragons, who recently created an account on D&D Beyond to kind of become the name and the face to take all the heat from the OGL and all this fun stuff. So he went on the YouTube channel. One of the YouTube channels he went on was 3 Black Halflings, and he discussed the open license events and several things, and from his perspective. But there's still a ton of spin in what he's saying.
Okay, sure.
I mean, he's an executive producer. He's not he's not quite in the trenches, but he does kind of illuminate a little bit about some of the frustrations that the designers and people had that didn't really have control of this, and there's still a lot of finger pointing to unknown people. So some of these statements that were released as nobody knows who wrote this, and they're going like this. Everyone is
kind of bizarre.
Yeah, it's very corporate in that way. So there's been several summaries. The transcripts are out there, and there's been several summaries of kind of the points. One of the things that he said is they are he's not aware of what happened in the private meetings with the publishers in December.
Okay.
So he doesn't know, and he's claiming that yes, you can have a draft contract that has a signing box that has licenses attached. That's still a draft. It's like, well, how can you execute a draft? He's still claiming that what went out to all of these companies and content providers or content creators was drafts.
Sure.
The 1.1 when it became public, by the time it became public, they'd already abandoned much of it.
Okay, sure, whatever.
So,
all right.
More damage control, and that they also saying that their change in course, that their kind of retract, their backpedal was just a coincidence with all the cancellations for D&D Beyond. No relation whatsoever.
Sure.
It has no influence on us. We don't care if you pay us or not. So, and then he goes on to claim that nobody knows who wrote the unpopular "You won, but we won too" statement that they released after the big reaction to the 1.1.
Right. Okay.
and the draft contracts. So moving on to 1D&D, they said things like the current SRD will be 100% compatible with whatever they do with 1D&D. They're not looking at it as a full version. It's more like a 3.5.
So it's 5.5.
Yeah, so it's 5.5. This is 5.5.
Right, okay.
And we're talking about so when and if they put more stuff into the public space from 1D&D, from what's developed from 1D&D or 5.5, it will be under the Creative Commons as well.
Okay.
So that's an interesting promise. And moving on to inclusivity. So
sure,
he was specifically speaking to two hosts of color in this on the Three Black Halflings podcast, who I think are going to be up for an Emmy this year. Okay. I think they should
based on his performance
submit their examples now. But they go on to talk about they're going to rely on the community. Not their own decisions to control bad actors and hateful content, rather than legal documents or something in the OGL. They're going to let the community handle that now. So they're just going to step away, and there will be working on content policies to help define what they consider hateful content, so they can flag it and point to it, and everyone can pile on it.
Isn't that kind of at odds with we're going to let the community decide?
Right? Yeah. We'll define it, but you can decide how you're going to humiliate them, assault them, dox them, whatever you want to do, guys. But we'll tell you. We'll point a finger, and you head that direction.
Sure.
So they have already been working with the external inclusivity reviewers, and I think there's like 2 or 3 that they reference. So people that they're testing all of this, the new things that are written. Plus, before they reprint any old things, they're going back before they're going back through everything before reprints. So if we do see reprints of older things, it may have edits and things on them.
Okay.
Like all the digital stuff has a warning now. It has a disclaimer. But I think like Warner Brothers cartoons.
Yeah, like that might that might be all they do though, right?
Right.
This big boilerplate thing in the front that says warning.
Warning. We have. There's a lot of stuff. There's just a lot of stuff. Maybe we want to skip this one. But okay. So the thing that really, and why I talked about him disliking, and so I think we should trend the hashtag resign Kyle. I think should be the hashtag resign Kyle, because Kyle goes on to say, virtue signal, pander to host of color.
That's his direct quote, or
that's
paraphrase?
Yeah. Okay. No, those were the stage directions from WotC.
Let me just read my script here. Okay, virtue signal, pander. Oh, I mean, did I say that? Yeah. Anyway.
Right. So talking about the last couple of years, the hiring process has been more inclusive.
Okay.
So yay, WotC. And when he was specifically asked about non-white cis men in leadership positions in WotC, he referred to some designers and authors, but he says, referring to himself, guys like me, we're leaving the workforce, to be blunt. That's not how he sounds, but I like this voice. Okay. I'm not the face of the hobby anymore. guys like me can't leave soon enough. So hashtag resign Kyle. If you really believe that, resign today. You're not doing any good with how you're managing. I mean, I just think it was so. At first, when I first saw those excerpts, I was like, is he referring to the I thought he was referring to the hobby.
Yeah.
People like him should be leaving the hobby. Specifically, he's referring to management, which is not a bad thing. I mean, you shouldn't be able, at a company like WotC, if they do have a diverse and inclusive customer base, you shouldn't be able to see who the diversity hires are.
Right.
It should be
there shouldn't be diversity hires, right?
Everyone should be diverse and be hired. So they're not specifically, they're not chosen.
Okay, like I gotta wonder how big the D&D department at WotC is, right?
Yeah,
because I'm sure because of the fact they're owned by Hasbro, and because they have as big a presence in the TTRPG sphere as they do.
Mm-hmm.
Even me, I kind of incorrectly assume they must be a huge company. It could be like 5 people, right?
Yeah.
And everyone else is freelancers or contract workers, right?
Right.
So, I mean, like, I absolutely agree with what you're saying. And I guess in context, I technically agree with Kyle, right? But, I mean, like, how big is this company, right? I don't know. We tend to think they're probably bigger than they actually are.
I thought it's not in this summary, but I saw a summary of another interview, and I think he said something like 30 people. Like, it's not a huge department. There's and it's not here to confirm that, but I thought I saw that there were like 30 people plus contractors, of course, for writers and art that are working full time on D&D. So it's not huge, but that also
it's not
means
small either.
Yeah. It's not tiny. It's not a tiny crew. But it's just I have a weird problem with this. It's the same kind of thing, and I guess we're getting into a whole thing, but same kind of thing with Lovecraft. It's like if you're going to talk about like the origins of D&D are introvert, weird history obsessed, wargaming white men.
Yep.
So that's the foundation of this. And if
who obviously praised Native American genocide very blatantly, right?
Yeah. Right. So if you think you can bend this and shape this into something acceptable for today, fine, but it's always going to be built on those foundations. So you either have to, move on to something else, move on to something, without a huge like medieval Western European bias, or just accept the fact that it's of what your customer base will be. I mean, and not let it go. Of course, not let it go crazy, full of misbehavior and kind of like a exploitation type content just to be shocking and thrilling. But it's silly that there's so much talk about this. And I still, when all this OGL stuff happened, there's so many channels recommended to me, so many YouTubers, and it's still the majority of D&D YouTubers are still very white. Like you
got a whole lot of why OGL sucks. I'm angry about it.
Right. So it's still not. I mean, I think this is the audience they want to have, the audience they hope to have, and this seems to be a corporate America thing. They're looking at this audience of the future, and this is the diverse audience of color we want to have. The audience we have right now is not that. So how do we kind of flick some of these guys out of the customers out of the pan and get the future audience?
I think generally speaking here, I think what it is okay, we have our audience, right? We have our core customers. Gosh, it would be great if we could get other groups in there too. Not if we're going to lose those original customers, right? So that's what I think it is. I think it's we need to make changes, not at the expense of the people we already have, right? So speaking about like D&D in particular, okay, it's colonialist fantasy, right? How do you... I think we've talked about this before, right? If you completely took that away, right? If you took away the core conceit of go to another place, fight these other people, and take their stuff, you no longer have what we recognize as D&D, right? Getting it to where it's not exploitative and not colonialist and not problematic requires a complete overhaul that I think Wizards is not willing to do, because it will leave D&D looking unrecognizable to what it currently is, and they will lose those original fans. So I think a lot of what we're going to get and what we've been getting is just kind of like lip service or little tweaks, but like no, don't make those people we don't want to lose those other people. And I think it's with anything. So like speaking about Lovecraft, or we talked before about like cyberpunk genre, we're like, okay, the original ones, like those are kind of done, right? You're gonna have to go to like writers of color to reinvent them, right? And that's where the exciting things are happening in Lovecraft and cyberpunk. It's like, okay, we heard the white male cis voices. We gotta let other people tell these stories and take it over, and it's gonna end up looking completely different from it, but that's gotta be okay, or we're just gonna keep perpetuating these harmful tropes and stereotypes. So
so it's
let me put my soapbox away.
So going on a very specific podcast and talking like this and targeting this is just that talk that
interesting.
The talk that you're hearing. So I don't know. Yeah, it seems very corporate. There's a lot of putting out fires and explaining.
Gee, the corporate dragon game. Speaking very corporate. Who could have seen that?
Right. So Kyle, please resign. If you're a man of your word.
Yeah. White guys like me can't get out of management positions fast enough. Well, then there's the fucking door, bro. Right?
Yeah. Right there. I'm sure your kids are. They got their scholarships. They're all set, right?
Ooh, that sweet D&D money.
Ugh,
it honestly can't be that much.
Yeah, so and they also made a quick reference to giving players choice with virtual tabletop, so they're not going to try to control where the content is, and they're also not saying that they're trying to replace books and dice with digital. It's additive, which we'll see, okay, sure. And we'll see what they call people that still use books and dice. I'm still suspecting that's a WotC move in the future. It's like, oh, you're using books.
It's going to be some kind of like Luddite thing, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right. Yeah. Could you be
book sniffer
backwards? All right. Well,
more dislike.
Moving on to more dislike. So a UK board game studio that made over £1 million on Kickstarter is now being accused on their own Kickstarter of unpaid staff and missing pensions.
Okay.
So inside the box, and so this is personal for me because this may be the first Kickstarter that I backed that is not going to ever show up.
Oh wow! Okay.
Which is pretty lucky. It wasn't a big one. It was just the price of a book, right. So it's not a huge one. So that's good. But this is going to be the first one that looks like it's going to fail because this company seems to be. They have a bunch of successful Kickstarters that are unfulfilled and in various states of production, and it seems like they're just walking away. They're saying, well, it's going to be really hard to do this, and how about PDFs? And yeah.
Is it possibly because, I don't really know the story, is it possibly because they went kind of over budget? You used Kickstarter money to Kickstarter B to fund Kickstarter A, then kind of kept chaining like that, maybe?
Yeah, nobody quite knows. But the funny thing is that former workers, somebody had the login to their Kickstarter and basically logged in and made an update that basically says, pay your ex-employees, Peter.
Wow. See, this is why, whenever someone leaves, you change the password.
Change our passwords.
I'm sorry, right?
Right. Yeah, so
and this is the IT guy that leaves, and then you're from.
Right. So the content of the post went on to say, Peter still owes his employees wages, missing pension, and redundancy. And then comments, of course, started appearing under this post. Ex-employee here, he still owes missing pensions, wages, and redundancy. We're all out thousands. He's completely refused to communicate with us. He shouldn't be allowed near another business.
Wow.
So a lot of rough words. And then another comment, he'll probably change the password soon. but please spread the word about this disaster. I feel for everyone. Peter, grow some balls. You're a mess.
Wow.
Yeah. So this company's had 8 successful Kickstarter projects, but their most recent Subterra 2 and Alba. And Alba was a really interesting project, an open world adventure game book that had all kinds of little clues and envelopes and things, and it looked like the production was going to be very, very nice. It got supported in 2021 with 10,000 backers and raised 273,000 pounds, and is nowhere near nothing. Wow. Nowhere near. And they keep making excuses like we don't know kind of where we are. We'll see, and all the excuses if the world has changed, shipping and production in China. Yeah. So who knows? But I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah. So Dicebreaker covered all of that, all of those shenanigans. So be careful how badly you piss off your contractors. You may think you don't have to deal with them and you can just cut them off from communication, but they're still around and they may have your Kickstarter account password. So yeah, that's too bad. Because in the past it looks like they've done some nice projects and they've been pretty successful, but something happened. So something, and it may just
embezzlement?
Or they may have just not managed funds well during the pandemic and things. You never know what kind of stuff happens. And more company it's not really misbehavior, but it's a little. They didn't handle this very well. It's kind of a surprise was thrown at some game developers. So Into the Motherlands RPG is now adrift. So their publisher was Andrews McMeel, who is the syndicator of my Abusecartoons.
All right.
So they opened a few years back. They opened a RPG department to publish RPGs, and they've kind of dabbled in, because they do a lot of things. They do cartoon syndication, digital manga, They do a lot of, like, they have their hands in many projects.
Did they also have an RPG department for a while?
Yes, they did. Yeah. So that's what this is. So they published Zweihander, Neverland, and Oz. And they had hired the creator, Daniel Fox, the creator of Zweihander, was working there. He recently resigned. Right. And then it was without any major announcement, then just the RPG department just went away. Right. So the project that was in the midst of being developed was Into the Motherlands, an Afrofuturist RPG. And the two of the designers, Tanya DePass and B. Davis Walters, had to have this meeting with them where the fate of their game, the fate of the publishing of their game, was held, was undetermined. And so they posted that they said, we've come bearing some disappointing news to you all, despite keeping up all of our end of the bargain, doing all of our work in good faith, and got their manuscript there under the deadline. They were informed that McMeel will no longer be publishing their RPG and are canceling the contract with them. So it was terminated during this meeting, and so pending the outcome of this, where do we go from here? Meeting, we will either have an announcement soon or may have to turn to self-publishing. It is unclear what this means for the delivery of printed books, but a PDF should be in your hands by the end of the year. Right. So they're going to at least go digitally to everyone that was supporting them. So they've made no formal announcement, and they just closed down this department as well as the Twitter account associated with it. So that's.
I think they were also publishing or doing something involved with that. What's the one that we kind of backed but then turned turned out to be Vaporwave? I want to say like Swords Fall or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, Sword. Yeah.
Oh, my voice just fucking went all of a sudden.
Oh, yeah. So were they were involved with that? Yeah, they may have been. I can't remember the.
I thought so. I'd have to go check. But like I started watching. Okay, I didn't follow the Into the Motherlands campaign. I think I watched a few APs, and it wasn't really to my taste. But the main reason I was watching it was because I think for a while it was powered by Cortex Prime.
Ah, okay.
I'm not sure if that was still the case when they launched the Kickstarter to make their own kind of like game. I don't know what system it uses, but I was still kind of following a little bit. And saw this announcement. I was initially confused because I'm like, manuscript? Is it like a TV show? Oh no, the manuscript for the book. Right. Okay. Fine. Right. Cool. Gotcha. Which I have to think they still have their manuscript.
Yeah, I think.
So it's like, okay, like they said, we might have to self-publish, or maybe we'll find another publisher.
Yeah. So it's not like there's some rights dispute or anything. It's just that they're not going through with the publishing deal. So I guess but my contact, the person that actually discovered me for my cartoon at Andrews McMeel also resigned recently. So I think they're doing some restructuring, kind of shrinking departments down for probably like everyone's doing for profit. For profit, the best way to be to be in the black in your bookkeeping is to just lay people off, and suddenly you're making a lot of money. Their whole salary becomes your quarterly profit.
Honestly, that's what just happened. No, that's not just what happened at work, but like October, like we absorbed the second or third largest Eikaiwa here, and the way to save money was to just like cancel that subscription. You don't need that. We're moving to another place. Gone. Like not it wasn't really people so much, but it was just like a lot of overhead, just like gone. Hey, and all of that stuff. Like during one meeting recently was like, okay, well, that new company, for the first time in a while, they're in the red. Yeah, right. No, I forget which one is which. Right. Yeah, there we go. They're in the black. But you know what? Our original company is in the red. Why? Because we took on I'm just like, how does that work, right?
We had to buy.
So it's kind of ridiculous, but I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's unfortunate.
Jeez, I'm just watching myself on the screen, and I gesticulate a lot.
Oh no. Hands at your sides. Yeah. But they, so that's unfortunate because I definitely had then someone I could get in touch with, about publishing something, but no longer, no more.
Self-publishing.
I know it's back to self-publishing and PDFs for us.
But if you've, just personal, if you still have like a contact and they're still in good good relations with that contact, maybe you could still talk to them.
Yeah, but they're not. Yeah, but no more RPGs.
Yeah.
Right. But so that's unfortunate, and hopefully, so it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't. Was there a Into the Motherlands? Did it have a crowdfunding campaign?
I think so. I wasn't paying a super amount of attention after I kind of realized the AP really wasn't to my tastes.
Right.
But I think there was a crowdfunding campaign. I don't know what it entailed. Obviously, a book.
Right. Yeah, so that's sad. I was really surprised that, and that's not a good sign, for the health, because these are people that saw a vibrant tabletop market and say, hey, we got to get in on this, and let's get this guy that has self-published and crowdfunded. It was Wyhander's basically like just a homebrew of
Warhammer Fantasy with the serial numbers filed off.
Yeah, right. So they hired him, and obviously couldn't make anything happen as far as making that viable enough. It might have just been bad timing. Maybe they were doing well, and it just wasn't good enough.
Maybe
for their numbers.
Or the dragon choked them.
Yes, right. So a lot of unhappiness this week. Yeah, so an unfulfilled Kickstarter and the death of a publisher, a death of an RPG publisher, basically.
Yeah. Well, the publisher didn't really go away. They just kind of shuttered their RPG department, right?
Yeah. They'll still do greeting cards and cartoon syndication and digital manga and all that good stuff.
Yeah. That's something, I guess.
But that's too bad. A lot of unfortunates this week. But yeah, so we're still in the midst. And thank you, Al, for being in there.
Ooh.
Oh, nice. Excellent comment. So we'll go back. So after the podcast, we will go back and get on the chat. So that's encouraging people to get on the Patreon, right?
Because I got to bounce back to my horrible day job. Okay, right. It's not that bad, right? But no. So usually after I leave, Jeremy's the one who goes to the comments. So
right.
I'm glad we have nice fans, because going through the comments could be a real
that's right. Yeah, it could be brutal. Yes.
When you have that one Brawl Arcane stream, I would not have gone through all the comments on that.
Yeah, that's right.
Oof, that was bad.
That's right. So where can people find you?
On Twitter, as always, where I'm spamming photos of pixel art cards that I'm putting together. That's Hivemind, HYVEMYND. Instagram's the same, though I don't really post on that anymore that much.
Yeah.
Because my paints are all frozen.
Oh, right.
my paints are all frozen. The computer room where I normally paint stuff is just freezing. And anyway, how about you?
Nice. And I am still, for Andrews McMeel, GoComics.com, producing my single panel gag cartoon. So Abusecartoons on YouTube and Twitch. You can watch the drawing of that cartoon, watch me eat some Japanese snacks, and and the archive of that cartoon is on GoComics.com/domestic abuse.
Have you considered branching out to ASMR?
Oh yeah, I should.
I don't understand that one aspect of it. Listen to people eat. Don't understand it at all. But hey, you do you.
I usually back away
off
from the
mic.
microphone.
It's off mic. Yeah.
Right. But and if you'd like to support what we're doing now and participate in the chat and kind of hear what's going on, either become a member of YouTube by clicking the join button below, or a patron on Patreon.
It's down there somewhere.
Yes. And
I should probably point this way.
Right. And on Patreon, you can become a weakling.
The strongest of all supporters.
Yes. And let us know what you want to see on the podcast, and also get a nice RSS feed with all of the audio from this live stream on it, as well as audio versions of everything that we're doing, and lots of other good stuff and early access as well to everything we're doing in Patreon. So speaking of early access, just released the final episode, the 5th episode, which is the final confrontation for the Blade Runner RPG.
Yeah. So I know people were kind of getting on you for that.
Yes, yeah, it took a while. It was a big one, and I couldn't decide where to cut it. So what I'm going to do, because the story ended, but there's a lot of content after that, so I'm going to do an epilogue. So it'll probably be about a 30-minute epilogue to kind of let the characters talk through, because the end gets dark, and characters we're all kind of reeling from like, oh my god, what just happened? And so it's very interesting how the characters kind of talk themselves down and set up what they're going to do probably in the next part of the campaign.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So it does need an epilogue. Yep.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it really does. And I was surprised. Like I was, okay, there's the end of the story. And it's like, what is this 50 minutes of audio I still have?
Oh.
So it's probably going to be cut down to about 30 minutes of characters talking about, what happened after, like what happened after they had it out with Holden and people got their asses covered, and all kinds of spin happened.
Wow,
and you never
all right.
know. Yeah, you never know. All right. So yeah, thank you for joining us, and we'll be back again next week.
Later, mortals.
Goodbye. All right. Thank you very much, Chris.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Sorry, that's a little moment of silence so I can take the room tone, room noise out of the audio for the patrons. So hello, everybody on the live stream, patrons and members, and L. Nice to see you. Thanks for all the great comments. So yeah, sorry we can't address. So we're trying to just have like the middle of it when Chris is here is just kind of the formal discussion of the topics, but we want to talk about talk about things more afterwards. So basically, this podcast is short because it's only done during Chris's lunch, and so we only have as much time as it takes to walk over here, do some recording, and walk back. But and I don't know when the eating happens. We'll have to ask Chris if there is actually some food during lunch. But yeah, so let me get back into the comments and see what's going on. I'm glad Chris was here for my dislike-filled topic list. I'm glad that worked out. Nice. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. If you want to get Chris's comments or Chris's opinions on the Hogwarts game, Twitter has that. Yeah, that's already had a pretty big reaction from the to the trans community on Twitter. And YouTube definitely dislikes Abyss. They will not let you talk at all. So cool. So thanks. Yeah, thanks, Al, for hanging in there. Oh, sorry, Disney and DeSantis. Oh, there's a lot of fun politics going on. Yeah, that was interesting. In fact, yeah, WotC is 22% of the revenue and 72% of the profit. That's insane. I guess, because they're just making paper. They're just making paper cards and things. I recently heard on a YouTube too that this was a little bit telling and kind of a little bit disturbing. The quality of Japanese magic cards has declined drastically. It's a noticeable difference. So that regular printed cards, not even the special shiny ones. I don't know what not even the the ones that are coated. They don't sit flat anymore. So they've gone to cheaper manufacturing, and I think a lot of things in Japan that's happened. They've had to kind of downgrade everything, sizes of everything, and quality of everything is taking a little bit of a dive just because of the kind of world economy state, and these companies are going to disappear if they don't cut some quality and start making a little bit more money on stuff. So yeah, that is not not surprising. All that the paper that it's printed makes them all the money. Yeah, so Elle saying, Aang of the fence, so they quit. Yeah, that's going to help monetize. Did Hasbro take economic lessons from Kmart? Yeah, right. And where is Kmart? Nice. Yes, right, Elle. Yeah, so we put the chat up between us. So, but it's fun. It's a nice another layer of what's going on, another layer of discussion, so you can see what's going on. Nice. So Abyss said they made the correct move, but it could have been more gentle. Oh, interesting. Yeah. And Matt said, "Go figure. Capitalism has negative effects." Yeah, I think that's a publicly traded company owning an RPG is not ever going to be good because the things aren't compatible. Just because of the fact that you only have to sell them 3 books and then you never have to sell them anything again. It's not a great business model. It doesn't work. Yeah. Oh, that's right. And that was the one comment. I think I skipped past that, but Kyle was making the excuse that, yeah, really, the royalties were just to keep the big companies from stealing from us, Disney and what, Amazon or Google, whatever. They mentioned some big, but specifically Disney. I mean, if Disney wants to buy and sell Hasbro, they could. I mean, it's like, not like they have it. There is much they could do to defend themselves. There's some really big companies out there that could just have their way with Hasbro's, measly $1 billion. Oh, that's depressing. But that's so disingenuous. And I still think that it's Hasbro executives looking at the success of basically a D&D based animation series on Amazon and being frustrated that they don't have a piece of it. Meaning the Critical Role, I'm forgetting what it's called, and they've got another one. They're doing a second one, so yeah, obviously they're making money kind of with their version of the D&D brand, and Hasbro is not seeing, or WotC is not seeing any of that. Yeah, Kyle was blaming Disney for that new OGL. We got to protect ourselves. Disney is gonna swallow us up. Yes. Yeah, Elle saying, yeah, how will the community control it? By not buying bad D&D products, like Strixhaven, Spelljammer, etc. Yeah, that's right. They're saying that WotC is stuck with warehouses full of Spelljammer. So if they do what Games Workshop does, maybe we're going to see some very deeply discounted copies of Spelljammer out there, but who knows? Hey, Miguel, how's it going? Good to see you. Yeah, thanks for the heads up about Kyle's interview with the 3 black halflings. That was some pandering stuff. Yeah, I think it's probably worth taking his cis white section fully out in context to see his like really stupid pandering. Like the management should match the player base and all of his stuff that he's talking about. Nice. So Elle said, did nobody notice Kyle once again blamed previous editions for the Hadazes, and when that paragraph was all new to 5e, but a senior designer wrote it. Yeah, they said that. Yeah, we had a trusted writer created that, and it must have just slipped past our sensitivity readers. The thing that about and this is something that may be worth bringing up with Chris as well, is there is no reader sensitive enough to actually protect a company, and especially if you're trying to protect yourself 100% and make your the stockholders happy. You are never going to be able to be bulletproof from online criticism, because people can find the smallest things that trigger them or the smallest things that offend certain groups, and so and basically, like we were saying during the podcast, basically the fact that D&D is built on this Western European medieval basis, the fantasy basis of D&D is always going to make somebody unhappy. So just the basic foundation of it, so you can't protect it. And if you're having people that don't even play the game, that just want to be attacking you for the evil that you're putting out there in the world, it's impossible. It's an impossible thing. So I wouldn't want to be one of those. I'm sure there's going to be quick turnover to sensitivity readers at WotC, because there's no way they can keep people happy. And Elle also said, well, the way they mentioned players in basements, yeah, he's saying white males leave the hobby. Yes, if he meant employees at WotC, then Kyle promoted violating the Civil Rights Act hiring practices. Nice point, Al. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, guys like him, but not him. Kyle shouldn't resign because he's important. He's one of the good ones. He's one of the good cis het white guys. There's a few of them. And Kyle, I think, numbers himself. No, I think as an example, Kyle should resign. We should expect to see a digital version of his resignation email, because you stand behind, your words, right? Your actions must follow. Yeah. Yeah, Abyss is saying, yeah, what a strange culture shift in America. Yes. Classic fake progressive stance. Yeah, it's just so pandering. The fact that he brought that up, or maybe they asked him that question. I think it was based on a question about management, and him having to just not just saying this is how it is in the world and we wish it could be better, but saying, of course we're leaving. We're all going to step away and hand everything over to this utopia of management. I mean. Just management in general, no matter what your race or gender, sexuality, once you really take to that corporate environment, everyone is bad and everyone is self-serving and just protecting themselves and stealing from each other's successes to claim work as their own. It's ugly, and it doesn't matter. Like, all humans kind of bend to the corruption of kind of corporate structures. You did get a pension from Kickstarter. We're talking about Inside the Box. I think specifically they were just breaking the rules as far as they weren't paying people, and if they didn't pay people for what they paid them for, they didn't file the correct tax. I think they call it pension in the UK, but we call it the Social Security in the US. So they didn't file or they didn't withhold the appropriate things that needed to be kept from any maybe contract payment. So yeah, it's crazy. So it says they did the right thing. Tolkien was the biggest elf lover to exist. Hashtag Mordor did nothing wrong. Nice. Oh, Elsa, didn't they kick out? Yeah. The article that I read said that Fox resigned. Daniel Fox resigned, but yeah, they may have fired him like based on lack of performance. Announced he was leaving at the end of last year. That's how I think Dicebreaker reported it, but it might be or maybe Bell of Lost Souls. But it might be that he was kind of allowed to go because they couldn't get anything to happen on the publishing front. Yeah, that's funny. Oh, is B. Dave Walters from G4 TV? Oh, maybe. Yeah, I didn't recognize that name. It could be. Interesting. Oh yeah, I think there was a I saw that there's some YouTube some YouTuber was reporting there was some interview. Somebody was able to interview her, and then she said, I'm leaving gaming after I hate it you all, I'm leaving. Yeah, that whole story of how that went on. So the sorry, changing topics to G4 TV real quick topic jump. There was a great YouTube video that talked about basically a son of whoever owns G4 TV, like Viacom or whatever, a fail son of one of these execs at maybe Comcast, maybe it's Comcast, that owns G4 TV, was dating Olivia Munn, and some pillow talk probably led him to promise her he could bring back G4 TV. But before that happened, or it was underway. The deal was underway, and funding was being secured, everything was being set up. But then they broke up, so he lost Olivia Munn, and but they still move forward with G4 TV. So that's why it seemed to be. I mean, this is all just hearsay. I don't know, if any of it's confirmed, but he was this guy that was in charge of putting this G4 TV project together was dating her, and they just happened to break up before the launch of it. So it was a half-assed launch, and then the fact that they had one of their hosts literally name drop her and bring her up and stuff was a little strange. But yeah, she wanted that back. This guy was going to offer, the son of a Comcast exec was going to hand it to her on a silver platter. Very crazy. So how many? Okay, never mind. I'm not going to shame Olivia Munn's dating habits. But I thought that was an interesting perspective, because when you see these wacky business ideas kind of flounder and then just disappear, it's like, wow, why did that ever happen? Like what? And so obviously it's got some weird, some weird backstory. Nice. Interesting. Yeah. Is Elle calling Frosk the Brad Pitt of lesbians? Oh, what's going on? The comments got spicy this week. Thank you, Elle. Yes, eating ASMR is disgusting. I agree with you, Abyss. I don't understand the things that people want to listen to, and that whole creepy whisper thing, and especially like I can't imagine like listening with like decent what's it called, the kind of sound space, decent headphones, and and having someone like doing that wet whisper in your ear. That's creepy as hell. And it's like, it's one of those weird veiled things. It's like, it's completely sexual and it's completely erotic, but no, it's okay. It's family approved PG content. And the fact that they make those 3D microphones that have actual ears on them is even more disgusting. I guess they want to give those creepy Twitch streamers a visual element as well, so they have to be nibbling on I don't know, plastic ears. Nice. All right. El says, and now I can say the D&D OGL was changed because, according to Kyle Brink, they feared Disney and was going to make maybe, yeah, they're going to make an adult version of a D&D. Yeah, and it's not. I don't know. Now with the SRD, it's even sillier. There is no, like, D&D is in Creative Commons. D&D is not a protectable thing anymore. I guess there's still. I mean, I guess maybe Beholder and certain things and character names and kingdoms and stuff aren't in the SRD, but a lot is. That is recognizable as D&D. Abyss is ready to go broke on boarding actions. I am cautious, being very cautious about that. I mean, how different is... I know the second edition of Kill Team changed very much. It changed kind of how the rules work and the stupid measuring system and stuff. It doesn't feel like 40K Light. The second edition of Kill Team is a lot different. But what's the difference between Kill Team and boarding actions? It doesn't seem like... I guess there's a lot more... I don't know. I mean, you're restricted to the units you can take, and then there's just a lot more rules available. Like Kill Team has more stripped down rules for all of the units. But yeah, and I love the fact that they're releasing the most expensive terrain ever for something that they're not even going to support. Yeah. But I'm curious. I want to see boarding actions. If there's a PDF around, I would love to see the rules for it and see what they tried to do with it, other than like limiting units and making some close combat mechanics. Yeah, right. Miguel, that's very wise, Miguel. Buy a 3D printer before you buy that box. Yeah, you can easily, for what it would take to play with two armies and the boarding action rules, you could easily buy a very nice printer and a ton of resin. Yeah, the kind of Space Hulk setting for 40K. Yeah, it's strange though. How is that necessary? I guess it's just a distraction. I guess they just want to, like, serious 40K players maybe are never going to go to Kill Team, so they're trying to get them to a different different style. I don't know. Surprised by Chris not getting baited by the YouTube chat, bringing up that she shall all be named with the Hogwarts. Oh yeah, I think Chris missed that. Yeah, if Chris would have spotted that, we would have been down the whole Hogwarts rabbit hole. Yeah, that's right. Disney is not doing well either. Yeah, they are. But I can't believe they still. Just hearing like the money, the numbers are just so unreal when they're talking about when their parks are closed. Like how much money they lose every day that their parks are closed, and during the pandemic they were closed for a while. So it's amazing that they still exist at all. Yes, yeah, Marvel Disney is very bizarre. Yeah, Vox Machina, and then the new one, Mighty Nine, yeah, the new series. And I guess they're gonna try to differentiate them, so it doesn't look like. But the thing that I was kind of, I mean, it's an Amazon streaming thing, so they can put all their ratings, warnings, and stuff. But if obvious, and maybe this is WotC's problem. Maybe this is WotC's problem. So the Vox Machina is not a good onboarding for new players into the hobby unless they're over a certain age, because like in the first 5 minutes of that animation, it's like gnome cunnilingus is like referenced like very directly. So it's like, okay, kids, kids out of the room. So I just like the the D&D Saturday morning cartoon. There's cartoon animation in a lot of ways like is an onboarding to like reading comics or playing tabletop games. So I think that it's a shame that they're just going to stick with their weird body, atmosphere of their crazy characters with that sterilized, horrible Korean animation studio animation. But they're going to like right away make people go, whoa. Okay, kids aren't going to be watching this, I guess. It was weird. Like I wouldn't want to have to explain what was going on to my like elementary school aged kids, just because they think that's such a funny joke. It says, I'm still confused by the choices that they've made since Infinity War. Yeah, Disney Marvel has made, and I think it looked like both DC and Disney got this obsession with, we need the female audience. Like, guys will go see superhero movies regardless of of quality or whatever, but we don't have women. So they thought that forwarding all the female characters and like just digging through the archives and getting every possible female character, and then also gender swapping as many characters as possible that weren't done so in the comics, was going to somehow create a female audience. All it's going to do is make the male audience, it's just going to be the same audience. It's not going to bring women in just because they're seeing women. It's very strange. But both DC, because there were plans. I think it was the Japanese name exec, who I think is gone. That was his plan, is to female Superman, female Batman, female, like they take the DC like Justice League Trinity, make Trinity, and make them all female. And Marvel was trying to do the same thing, because Iron Man's going to become Ironheart, and we had female Thor, but that was kind of a one shot, because I guess they can bring her back. It doesn't matter. But it's like just swapping all of the because we got a female Wolverine. I mean, in the comics, we have a ton of gender swaps, so they both settings could literally do that. But I don't understand. They think that brings a female audience. It doesn't. It just brings a bunch of girl powered jokes and Slay Queen characters. It's very weird. Yeah, I don't know. Frosk is yet another example that pissing on your audience is not a good idea. Yeah, I mean, and especially for something, trying to build a channel on the internet is like being immediately confrontational with people that are like, let's see what the new G4 is like, and having her say, don't try to get turned on here, boys, no bikinis here. And then they had, like, as soon as they kind of backgrounded Frosk, they had like Amaranth or somebody, some Twitch thought, like immediately on jumping around in a kiddie pool. Like immediately they're like, oh yeah, this is what G4 TV is. So whoops. Oof. So Matt is saying, if I was a Nepo kid, I'd promise Olivia Munn a show at theme park. Oh, come on, Matt, give me Olivia Munn. She's not, I don't understand why she is so successful dating wise, why she has dated so many she is nothing. I don't get her. I don't get the appeal of her, because she's like the wrong parts of both halves basically. And the fact that she's a bikini model, and I don't get it. She's not, I don't see her as a nice blend of her looks. And but I don't understand. I don't understand the obsession. Yeah. Well, that was the thing during the pandemic, when everyone was bitching about the Imagine sing along that Gal Gadot got everybody to sing. It's like, Gal Gadot calls me, I'm singing Imagine into my cell phone. I don't care. I'll sing whatever she wants. Yeah. But I can see it works. Frosk called herself the Brad Pitt of lesbians. Oh no. I thought Brad Pitt kind of stood in for attractive. That's weird. Brad Pitt meaning, I don't know. What's another? There's no other interpretation for Brad Pitt besides, attractive leading man. So, I guess there was no other. Maybe she's shorter than you would expect. I don't know. Yeah, no, that's right. Nepo kid. Yeah, It's really funny. Attacking the fans. Oh right, yeah. Abyss brought up, when G4 announced the firings, Frosk was tweeting out that fire tweet about not getting at her her thug life whatever meme that she created for herself. That's crazy. Yeah, so happy I didn't get cut. Oh no, Miguel, I don't. Where does the name Frosk come from? I'm afraid to know this. Let's see. The worst part of the whole boarding action stuff. Oh, back to boarding actions is that they are doing the whole thing. Yeah, the whole FOMO thing again. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's cool terrain that space, because Space Hulk doesn't have Space Hulk terrain, so they're doing both for Kill Team and boarding actions. They're doing Space Hulk terrain interiors. So I would almost want to buy that just to play with Space Hulk, but it's so crazy overpriced. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right, Miguel. Yeah, 6%. Yeah, select items will be going up 6% in March. I can't believe, and they release a statement on the Warhammer community. We're going to be raising prices 6%. We don't need to know that. Just do it. Just like pull the Band-Aid off. Don't make us anticipate. Well, I guess. Sorry. I guess the motivation for that is, buy now. This is, they're trying to boost sales by saying we're going to raise the prices. I wonder if that is actually been successful for them. If they make such a big deal out of announcing price increases, then end of February sales are going to spike, which is probably a slow time for them. Yeah, 6% up on average, but must be a weird average because according to US retailers, it's over 10% on many boxes. Thank you, Games Workshop. Okay, so Indiana Froskerin Black, she was named after the dog. Indiana, nice. You were named after the dog. What did she have named? Yeah, what is the origin of Froskerin? I don't even know. Is that an anime reference? I was saying, getting only females worked for Charlie's Angels. Wait until no white males see D&D or Transformers. Paramount and Hasbro will be screwed. Boycott Honor Among Thieves. Yeah, I have zero interest in that. And it's so funny that it's like, oh yeah, D&D is diverse and inclusive, and Chris Pine is the lead of this movie, and the villain is, so it's like, you're putting white guys. I don't even think, I guess Jeremy Irons, but some of the other D&D movies I think had a more diverse cast. I don't know, but they're not doing great. With whatever they're imaging. But yeah, I have zero interest in Honor Among Thieves. And it's so funny, people keep referencing, one of the 5e players in the OSR group made a reference of how funny it was that WotC is releasing a compilation of heist adventures when they just tried to heist the entire third-party content and virtual tabletop from the community. They have they don't see the irony in releasing stuff about thieving. And of course their movie is about thieves. I can explain it, but Matt is going to wrench me. Maybe we don't want to know. She's talentless, sure, but I find her attractive. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I've spent too much time in Asia. I don't see the appeal of Olivia Munn. She's funny. Wow. Yeah, 30,000 yen. Yeah, that's insane. The Japanese prices are hysterical for at Games Workshop. It's really crazy. Yeah, 30,000 yen is about what, 1250. Yeah, eventually the yen is slipping so badly. The yen hit a 30-year low. I think it was like a 30-year low not that long ago. So it's very weak. The movie has one decent actor that fits the part. Oh yeah, Michelle Rodriguez. That's right. Sophia Lilly's looks more than she should play a goblin or a gnoll. Oh, L, that's brutal. Matt says, I don't know, man. The fact that D&D goobers are angry about the druid shape changing to an owlbear made me want to watch it more. That's right. Well, isn't that that was the funny thing. There's been so many weird Pathfinder things coming up with that movie because they used a Pathfinder illustration on the one promotional poster or artwork or something. And then isn't the druid turning into an owlbear a Paizo thing, like a Pathfinder thing? I think that's possible in Pathfinder. So it's so funny that those Paizos worked hard to kind of create Glorantha. I think their setting and differentiate it, but basically for the average moviegoer or whatever, there's no differentiation. You can't tell. It's just generic fantasy 1 or 2, and so it's promoting Pathfinder as much as it's promoting Dungeons and Dragons, basically. That's funny. Ibis said, I just hope that the D&D movie sucks and not on purpose, so that Red Letter Media does a half decent, half in the bag of it. Yeah. I hope so. I hope it's fun. Yeah, because didn't Mike just confessed that he played D&D. He was a D&D player back in the day. So, yeah, he'll have something to say about it, or at least experience with the game, so they won't be like totally like, we don't know anything about. Yeah, they won't have to play totally dumb. Yeah, that'll be good. Yeah, it'd be good if they could at least make it fun. At least have do a fantasy adventure movie that actually worked well, because now they have the CG and the capability of doing a lot of stuff that we never visually could have seen before. Like gelatinous cubes and stuff, which I think is something they're doing. But there's some stuff that they can do very well. It can be very convincing. But we'll see. We'll see what actually happens. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, Abyss says it'll be a decent B movie. Yeah, hopefully it'll be entertaining. But I don't think it's going to be like the beginning of a D&D cinematic universe or anything. I mean, I hope that they don't have these weird expectations, because a Dungeons and Dragons movie, even in the driest of there are no fantasy movies being released times, Dungeons and Dragons movies have done nothing. So I don't think. Yeah, I wonder what it is. It's almost like Dungeons and Dragons is just the store brand, family bargain fantasy. It feels like it's too generic for most people to even understand what it is. Yeah, I don't know. We will see. Yeah, March 17th, Shazam 2, March 24th, John Wick 4, March 31st, D&D, April 7th, Super Mario Brothers. Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's in amongst. Yeah, that's right. There's barely room for it in amongst those releases. Yeah, it's funny. But said the thing that is that it has to be aimed at a broader audience and not the D&D fans. Yeah, there can just be I guess just like with comic book movies, it has to be interesting characters, entertaining stories, and funny, and then just have some little references that I get that, or something that. Which is basically what the comics, the Marvel movies do. Marvel has proven the safe bets sell the best. Yeah, that they're kind of like, anodyne, kind of very genericized version of Marvel sells really well because everybody can just deal with it. Although I've heard a lot of people in Japan say they have zero interest in superhero movies. So I wonder if it's just the American market that they're continuing this for, because I don't think the rest of the world, and especially when they start doing weird, when the characters start getting even weirder and not iconic, I think that's a big mistake, because foreign markets are like, oh, what is the famous character from America, not what is this weird, variation on this character. Yeah, so I don't know. And Marvel has proven. Let's see. So Miguel says, L, of all the above, I'm only interested in John Wick. Yeah, right. That's right. I can't believe they're still making John Wick movies. And talking about Mario, did you hear the Universal Studios Orlando is having issues with the size of the Mario Kart rides? Oh no. You mean Americans are too big? Or they just like throw sparks because they're just dragging, the underbody's just dragging on the ground. Super Mario will kill D&D. Yeah, potential faster than yeah. Interesting. Wow. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Definitely. Most Americans are probably too big for a standard size Mario Kart. Do you have the extra? I need the husky Mario Kart to be able to drive around. Oh man. Yeah, that's funny. That is really funny. Yeah, because the standard everything, like the standard seats in the low cost domestic airlines in Japan, I don't think the average American, just based on like the length of your femur bones, your knees are not even going to fit in one of those standard seats. So they've measured for standard Japanese sizes. So yeah, if they took those carts directly to America, no way. That's really funny. Yeah, right. Yeah, if they size it up for adults, then kids will die. Oh, nice. Okay, Matt said, did you see the SNL Mario Kart skit? No. I didn't. No, I think Hulu Japan started to. They didn't. It went away for a while, but it was really interesting. Japanese Hulu was doing next day subtitled versions of the previous night's SNL. That was amazing. So that was happening maybe like 5 years ago or so. That was going on for a while. Then it just suddenly stopped, and SNL, all they had was like old best of stuff. But I think that's back now, so I'll have to go take a look, because there's no other way, because I get region blocked on YouTube from SNL clips and stuff, so I can't watch it from Japan. Nice. Restraints cannot hold them in place. Yeah, that's that's crazy. Abyss said, "Is it a risk? It is time to risk it all. Give us your take on the Hogwarts." Yeah, we will never see Chris and I again. Yeah, literally. I mean, I think I talked about it a little bit on the my cartoon stream. I hate Harry Potter. I think it's garbage. So was happy to see. I mean, I think there's a very UK, a British woman battle this whole trans exclusion thing that's going on in the UK. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird to try to love a brand and punish the author, kind of the death of the author, the separation of art and the artist. Like, I think Matt brought that up on the cartoon stream. That it's not. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm glad it's having controversy and trouble, because I think she made easy billions. I'm not happy with how much money she made so easily, and I like the fact that. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if the fight that she's in is really justified, but I like the fact that she was so liberal and being so, of course, Hermione was always intended to be, of African descent, because I never said that she was white. All the super progressive stuff that she was pulling for like the Harry Potter stage play or whatever, all the stupid stuff, and then for her to stumble on this is funny. When people are being so, they're insanely rich, and so they just turn to that weird hyper progressive persona. So I don't mind that she gets that she's really blown it, and she's blown it with a very vocal group on the internet. So I don't know. I would never have any interest in playing Hogwarts. And I think also too, the trans community was kind of ready to be upset about this, and then of course there are streamers that are doing it just to be provocative. They're streaming Hogwarts, whatever it's called, Legacy Hogwarts, the Hogwarts game. They're streaming it just to be provocative and just to say F you to people that they know are going to be upset. So it's weird. Yeah, it's a really weird thing. Yeah, we'll see. Don't recall which book, but there's a reference to the paleness of her skin. Oh my god, there you go. Yeah. That was so stupid when she was making all those claims, and then the homosexuality and stuff of the characters. It's just like, you're just throwing that in there. I mean, obviously, if you're writing this for kids, you're writing this for a young audience. They don't need to know any of the sexuality of any of the characters. So then to bring this out in the movies, whatever. But I think it's like she was intentionally doing that to virtue signal, to get points, in certain circles, and it's weird. Yeah, Hermione, I think, was race swapped in a from the compared to the movies or compared to the books, if she referenced her being pale in a stage adaptation of Harry Potter. Yeah, Potter is super derivative and boring. Yeah, but people like it. And hating folks for fandom is a bit much. Oh, that's a good point, Matt. Yeah, this is all Matt. She's just another rich turd who gets to say whatever she wants. Yeah, exactly. And too much of a voice, and too much, and too many people are listening, I think, is the problem. Yeah. Hermione was said to be pale when she walked into the sorting, when she walked up to the sorting hat. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it is. It's really silly that this kind of stuff happens, but it's good. I mean, hopefully, eventually, people will stop doing this when they keep being punished like this. The everybody tries to be the most pure, because no one is going to pass the purity test. And if something comes up, there's something I want to definitely talk to Chris about with Chris's work, talking about this purity test and kind of changing, the atmosphere changing and kind of opinions changing. I'm curious about something. So if something comes up in one of the topics, I think we'll get a chance to talk about it. But it was something I was surprised about that Chris said on Twitter. All right, pure virtue signal. The books and movies are wonderful for children, yeah, but if you're older, then look at it more critically, they just fall apart. Very good. I dodged the cancel bullet. Yeah, it's a funny thing, and it's weird that now these big, corporate released media things are becoming such. And it's kind of deliberate too, becoming these hot topics, these controversies and things. But I think some of it is deliberate to generate, interest or to generate attention with things. I think there's some data that the companies now seem to be looking at that measures the amount of like social media activity and the amount of times things are mentioned. And I think they think that that's popularity, or that's a kind of attention, or kind of like buzz that they want for their products. But I don't think they realize that most of that is negative. Like I think like that Velma cartoon on HBO, it's getting a ton of attention, and I think whoever owns HBO Discovery or whatever that company is now, is seeing that, oh, this is good, this is generating a lot of buzz, so it must be good, there must be something good about it. But it's just all negative and hate watching and stuff. So I don't think they understand how these metrics, that's the word I was looking for, how these metrics work very much. Oh man, exactly. My kid got into reading largely because of those books. Oh wow, well that's good. You can't wrong. There's a lot of silly kids books out there, so I can't. I was just like way past the point of being interested in that. And I just don't like that setting very much. It's not very interesting, but it's funny, very funny. Yeah, just when I was a child, I thought and acted as a child, but when I grew up, I put away childish things. Excellent. Like labels that say some things are only for children. Ooh, C.S. Lewis. Yes. Nice. Yeah, good quote. There isn't even isn't even need of a Voldemort to crash that world. Yes. Hey, Griffith, how's it going? Oh, I was just wrapping up. Good to see you though, Griff. Very cool. Yes. Oh man. Yeah, that whole thing is very, I think that whole Velma project was just meant to bait people into kind of stupid stuff. But also the creator, she's already had a bunch of trouble on social media, so who knows. Scooby-Doo cartoon. Oh, nice. Very good. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, Griff. Always good to see you. Yeah, we were talking a little bit about the Kyle Brink, his kind of interview campaign he's doing, the damage control he's doing by going on to podcasts, and some of the stuff he's saying is not not great. It's not it's obviously he's got talking points that they sent him out with, and he's trying to put out fires and trying to say that no one is responsible for any of this. We don't know who wrote this. We don't know where it comes from. Yeah, there was a piece about literally about the WotC employees that wasn't in my notes that I thought was interesting, talking about when people knew when and how many employees were actually involved in decision making, and how everything happened above them. Yes, that Kyle Brink. Yes, yeah, it's just like, and I love the yeah. So guys like him are leaving. Just in case you didn't hear, Griff, guys like him. So cis white guys are leaving the hobby. So and that's a good thing according to Kyle. So Kyle should be resigning any day. I guess that's what we're waiting to hear. Nice. Yeah, the man no one knew about, but Hasbro once he needed to sacrifice. Yes, suddenly get him on D&D now and or D&D Beyond, and let's get him. Oh, cool. So Miguel said the cow Brink thing reminds me of the when millionaires request higher taxes, fully well knowing that they'll never have to pay them. Yes. Oh, cool. Oh, hey. Thank you, Supervillain. Supervillain Condor GM. Thanks for the sub. Excellent. I actually heard a notification. That's shocking. Yeah, I'll have to take a look. Yeah, I just there was one YouTube video, and then I went to the original interview, the Three Black Halflings interview. Too many white people. Yeah, it's funny, but not me. Not Kyle. Kyle's not one of the bad ones. It's all those what bad actors? What are they? Yeah, they hateful content and bad actors that they're worried about. Yeah, how do you define? I mean, I think from a certain point of view, Kyle is a bad actor. It's funny. Oh, nice. I think it's an article which links the WotC Hasbro BS to the planned intent to lock down the IP. Yeah, yeah. I can't believe they're in total denial of that now. It's like, no, that was never our intention. Just like, Netflix backpedaling on the password sharing because of the huge response they were getting online. Like, oh, no. That was an accident. We didn't mean to make you register for a 7-day code if you want to log into your Netflix from another IP address. No. We never meant that. But we are raising the subscription prices. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, WotC has, if they're going to do this one D&D thing, they have so many examples now of, Fortnite and Netflix and, like streaming services, online gaming. They have so many examples of how to do it correctly and what you need to avoid, like watching all the mistakes that companies have made. So it shouldn't be that hard to do, but yeah, they just can't figure it out. They're gonna just start from scratch, and I guess they have like whoever the architect is, if it's that Chris Cow, if he is the architect of their digital platform. I don't think he's got good thinking. I think he comes from a either mobile gaming or some sort of weird, very exploitative, way to treat customers, and yeah, that's just not going to fly with tabletop. Yeah, the plan was to grab the upcoming D&D and renew. Yeah, movie. Yeah, with the movie renew interest. Yeah, I don't think the movie's going to do well enough to do anything. I bet no one. I mean, compared to the Effect Critical Role and probably even the Vox Machina, Vox Machina, and then the new Mighty Nine. Those series are going to do more for D&D if Critical Role keeps playing D&D than anything E1 has ever produced. So yeah, we'll see. Hey, Supervillain, thanks. This is my white thumbs up. Didn't want to pick yellow for reasons. Nice. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, much appreciated. Oh, here's a quote Griff has. Hasbro wanted to change its 20-year-old open game license for Dungeons & Dragons in a bid to boost revenue ahead of an upcoming movie release based on the game. That's crazy. Yeah. So that would be a perfect chance to, if they really thought they were going to gain so many new fans, that they would be capturing all of those new monetizable people. Well, a white male is now just a normal villain, not even a super villain these days. Very good. And Griff said all of it was planned. Yeah, there was no mistake. Yeah, and yeah, because they had to. I mean, the movie had been in production for a couple of years, so they had to be looking at this. Yeah, very, very far out. And it's so weird that both of these big stumbles for WotC correspond to the big anniversaries of Magic and Dungeons and Dragons. That's really unfortunate, but maybe that was part of the intention, is to, okay, we're going to capitalize on these, nice round even anniversary numbers as much as possible, and they just fumbled it really badly. They didn't know what people wanted to do, but they wanted to make as much money as possible out of those planned events. Yeah. Also, Hasbro felt like scuttling their own brand that weekend. Yeah, right. Uh, that's right. Yes, Abyss said the proper proper pronoun for white males is colonizer. Yeah. What was? Oh, the Wakanda Forever, the Black Panther 2 throws around colonizer a lot. They love the one. I think it's the Bill or Bilbo. I forget his name. The actor from Fargo, the Fargo TV show, and the Hobbit movies is called Colonizer as many times as they can stand. Rings of Power will have had more viewers than the D&D movie. Yeah, that's right. Oh, that's scary. So actually, an Indian actor was complaining recently that due to the SJW policies in place, he doesn't get any more evil guy roles, so he's out of a job. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, it's like there probably were like character actors that were like, yeah, I'll do the drug dealer, I'll do the gang member, whatever, and they had like steady income, and now they have to flip it all to it's all white guys now. Yeah, that's funny. I can imagine. Griff said also movie release. The movie release was pushed back after the drama, hoping for damage control. Oh wow, interesting. Yeah, that's got to be hell too, because those release dates, those weekends are so tightly packed, or the weeks that they come out are so tightly packed. But yeah, it looks like it's between John Wick and Super Mario. So they were saying, yeah, if you missed it, Griff, early in the chat, people were saying, yeah, Super Mario is just going to kill D&D's legs. Like, even no matter what it does that first weekend, it's not going to have a big second weekend, because there's another, geek movie basically coming out next week. Yeah, that's right. They really rely, because gamers are stupid and won't remember. They're really relying on this like short attention span and trying to get away with stuff, and then just being silent about it. That was even a reference in that interview, is that they thought because of the outrage, Wizards thought it was just good to just be quiet, not say anything, and then just release another version of the OGL, and that would fix things. Yeah, it was very, very weird. The reasoning behind why and when they did stuff doesn't make any sense, and nobody is to blame. Like, nobody knows who released this statement. So somebody somehow got control of the D&D Beyond, or social media for WotC, and released these weird statements. We have no idea how this happened. Yeah. Oh yeah, I think it's boycott for the movie, and canceling the D&D Beyond, even though they Kyle specifically said, oh, it had no effect on us, just a coincidence, we weren't reacting to that at all. You have to be, because that's the platform that you're going to basically port over to one D&D. So they have to be worried when they see people vote with their subscription cancellations on what they think of the their legal moves. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, but said, how did they get people to still buy their stuff for 2 times what it's worth? He's baffling. Oh, if you're talking about Games Workshop. Yes. Boycott Honor Among Thieves. That's crazy. Oh, that's right. Chris Pratt. Oh, that's right. Chris Pratt is doing the voice of Mario. Is that only because he did the Lego guy voice? Is that doesn't make any sense, the casting Chris Pratt. I guess it's easier to listen to anybody other than the guy that originally did the Mario voice. Could you imagine the voice actor for the video games, the more recent video games, to like do that accent for like 90 minutes? That would be amazingly hard to deal with. Kids would love it though. Yeah, they've really got Games Workshop really has that release thing down. It's funny too, like once it doesn't quite get you excited about something, like it's a game, one of their games or whatever that you don't play, you see how transparent it is and how quickly they hype something and then they just abandon it. Like, stuff gets so little support and they don't even mention it again in a lot of ways. So they have this like big hype and then just nothing. So you just have to wait around for years until your army or the game you're playing gets attention again. It's really strange, but it obviously is working for them because they don't stop doing it. Oh man. Griff said the Kyle's comments about the white males create divisiveness between gamers, but really just ignore his social comments and focus on the lies. Yeah, I think that's a good. Yeah, it's a good point, Griff. Chris Pratt better than Chris Pine. Matt is not a Chris Pratt fan. Oh man. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, all hobbies. Yeah. Do that. Yeah, it's that is too bad. So I hate the Iron Grip. GW has a miniature game. Yeah. There is no. Yeah, like we were talking. Like Paizo is a much closer second to Wizards of the Coast than Mantic is to Games Workshop. They're such a distant second, and that's a shame. All right. Oh yeah, we are doing it. Matt ran. Yeah, Matt is running Forbidden Lands right now. We have we're in the midst of it as we speak. Oh yeah, so that's what I should do, Matt, on maybe both on YouTube and Patreon, is do a poll, because we have Dragonbane, Forbidden Lands, and John Carter. So see what most people would be interested in listening to next. Yeah, mid-season wrap up on Sunday. Nice. Yeah, it's really good. Matt is doing a great job with Forbidden Lands, and I like that system so much, and I'm really excited to get some more Dragonbane, to get that whole thing released as well. Give that a shot. All right. Well, good to see everyone. Thanks so much, Ella. It was great to have you in the chat, and Griff, always. I'm glad you caught us at the end. Abyss, Miguel, Matt, always fun. It's like as soon as Chris leaves, all of our our spicier takes come out. That's fun. All right, nice. Oh, J.J. Abrams Star Trek fail with Chris Pine as prepubescent Kirk. The main character looks like he's wearing Doc chinos. Nice. Oh, excellent. Yes, train movie is incoming. All right, so take care, everyone, and we will. The Chino argument continues. So we will be back again next week. So big thanks to the patrons, and patrons, take a look for the last installment of the Blade Runner actual play that is live for patrons in early access, and we will be doing this again next week. Thank you so much for your support for members and patrons who can listen to this, and we'll do this again next week. So everyone take care, and we'll see you then. Goodbye.